Hey everyone, it's Jaclyn. So today I want to sit down and share with you guys how I got this skin look. I haven't really done an in-depth skin tutorial, that sounds a little weird, skin makeup tutorial in a while, so I thought I would sit down and share that with you guys. I'm super excited to be working with Almay on this video, so let's hop into the tutorial. Okay, so here I am with no makeup, a little sunburn, and a little pimple on my cheek, but that is okay. So we're going to start off by going in with some foundation. This is the Almay Clear Complexion makeup. I'm going to start by taking a few pumps of that and just popping that onto the skin. Now this foundation is going to be really great if you do have problematic or acne prone skin like myself, because there is a maximum strength salicylic acid formula inside that will actually help clear and heal your blemishes and also help prevent future blemishes. I mean, I know when my skin was a lot worse, I was always so afraid to put makeup on it just because I thought that I'd be doing damage or making it break out worse. So having a product like this that does have salicylic acid inside is a lot more comforting, and knowing that it's actually not bad for my skin is also good to know. So I'm just kind of starting off by dolloping the product all over my skin. You look a little crazy, but don't worry, we'll be blending it out with a sponge. And I like to use a sponge or a brush, a really dense like synthetic brush, and just kind of pat that and stipple that into the skin. I find that gives you the most airbrush finish, and especially if you are dealing with any breakouts or any texture, I just find that this is the most flattering on the skin. Now I am going to be focusing a lot on the techniques and sharing with you guys as many tips as I can, just because, like I said, I used to deal with way worse acne, and I know what it's like to feel, you know, not comfortable in your own skin. So hopefully you guys can take some techniques away from this, which is my goal. Now the finish of this foundation is a matte finish, which I would recommend if you do have more textured skin or lots of active breakouts, just because the matte finish tends to be a bit more flattering. If you have anything kind of dewy or reflective, it'll catch light and show texture more and really accentuate it. So having a soft matte finish with buildable coverage is normally the way to go. And actually, this is kind of like a perfect demonstration of the coverage of this foundation, just because you can see where that sunburn is on my forehead. This covers it up and kind of blends it out really seamlessly. Now don't forget to bring the foundation to the front of your ears and onto the tops, and blend it down your neck as well, just because you want it to look the most natural. At least that's always my goal when doing makeup, is to make it look the most natural. So just make sure you blend it out really nice, and you'll be good to go. Okay, moving on to some concealer. I have the Almay Clear Complexion Concealer here. This one is in the shade Light, and I'm going to start by just concealing my under eyes. Now I always just kind of like to put it in like an upside down triangle, like a right angled triangle under my eyes, just to kind of naturally highlight and brighten that area. Now the formula of this concealer is really nice because it is very calming. It does kind of help minimize the appearance of any texture or pores, but it does leave your skin feeling hydrated and very soothed. So it's particularly great for under the eyes or any textured spots on your skin. I'll actually show you guys in a second how I cover my breakouts. But yeah, so I'm just using a sponge again just to kind of diffuse that product out and to blend it out. You can see it really just kind of lightens and brightens my face. Okay, now going back to this little breakout over here, you actually don't want to apply the concealer directly onto it. So what I like to recommend to do is to take the product and put it onto the back of your hand. At least for me, like, I think maybe this is just my mentality being a makeup artist. I'm always really concerned about sanitation, but I find when people are using their makeup just on themselves, like, they don't really care about it as much, which is so crazy to me. Especially if you have breakouts, I think it's really important to not contaminate your makeup. So by putting it on your hand versus directly applying it onto your face, you don't contaminate your whole tube of makeup, and it'll just help make sure that everything stays nice and clean. So what I like to do is to take a flat little concealer brush and just kind of apply and build up that coverage on the spot that needs it, and then taking a clean fluffy brush, just kind of diffuse that product out and blend it out into the rest of the skin. You obviously want to be applying the most pigment and the most coverage onto those specific areas that need it most, but I think it always looks a lot more natural to just kind of blend it out, and to leave the rest of your skin that looks good, leave that with a lighter coverage. Now I always find I get the best results when I'm working in little layers and gradually building it up. So I'm just kind of going back over a few times, adding a bit more product, layering that on, and diffusing it out. And then finally with that last little bit there, it pretty much makes the breakout undetectable to the eye, which is great. I mean, obviously you can't erase texture, but fortunately, again, with that salicylic acid formula, it'll help kind of heal that blemish and make sure that it doesn't get any crazier. So yeah, just basically repeat that process wherever you need it, whatever areas need a bit more coverage, if you have any hyperpigmentation or scarring like I do a little bit on my cheeks there. Then I'm going to set everything in place with the Almay Clear Complexion Press Powder. This one here is in the shade Light. Now I do like to use a little bit of a stamping technique when I do this. So I'm just taking a tapered brush. I'm just going to kind of press the powder under my eyes, and I'm going to be doing my T-zone as well. Now I find when people use like a dusting kind of brushing motion with their powder, it just kind of moves the product underneath and kind of defeats the purpose of all the hard work and all the blending that we did previous. So you do really want to kind of press and lock everything in place. This will just ensure that your makeup lasts all day. And with a powder like this, it'll also make sure that you're nice and oil free and you are shine free, which, especially back in the day when I was acne prone, I had a very oily T-zone. So using a product like this will definitely help prevent that and keep you looking matte all day. Now to set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using a light dusting of a darker powder. Now this one's in the shade Light Medium, which is just one shade darker than the shade that we just used. And this one I am going to be a little less generous with the product and just do like a light dusting and more of that kind of sweeping motion versus a stamping. But when we do get to a breakout, you'll see I have that breakout on my cheek, and I'm going to kind of press and lock that powder in place. Okay, now the final thing that I like to do to my skin to kind of give it that fresh face kind of glow, like I'm not wearing any makeup, is to add a little bit of highlight. Now, you know, skin naturally has a little bit of oil. We have a little bit of a glow. Now, this was a very matte finish foundation routine, which is perfect, especially if you are struggling more with breakouts. But I think adding in some highlights on your own terms is kind of what brings that finishing touch and that that extra dimension to your skin. So on areas that I feel confident in, like my cheekbones that don't have any breakouts right now, maybe like my inner corner, your brow bone, your cupid's bow, these are all really great areas to add a little bit of extra glow and to pull a little bit more focus to. And again, it just kind of makes your skin look more like skin and just kind of give it that finishing touch. Now, I'm not going to be focusing on adding on any blush or any crazy colors to our skin. I know when I was acne prone and I would watch all these acne tutorials, it'd be like, okay, now add like a red blush. And I'm like, I just spent 20 minutes trying to get rid of all this redness on my face. I am not adding a blush back to my face. So especially for a quick tutorial like this, if you are just like running out the door and just want a really good base, I would skip blush, I would skip all those other things. Just getting a really nice even tone is something that makes me feel confident. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about all these other steps. Now, even though this is where I'm going to stop with product on the skin, I am going to pop on a little gloss on my lip and a little bit of brown mascara just on my top lashes. I also did my brows off camera as well. These are just some of the steps that I can't skip over, even if I am doing like a quick, you know, 10-minute out the door, running some errands kind of look. It just kind of brings the whole thing together. Okay, so there we go. That is the finished makeup look today. It's pretty simple, really just all about the skin. If you guys do choose to wear makeup when you are, you know, a bit more acne prone or when you are breaking out, I hope you guys, you know, took away some techniques and some products and some tips for covering those pesky little pimples. Okay, so there you go. This is the finished makeup look. It's nothing too crazy, but just kind of makes your skin look like the best version of itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!